All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Shabbat, Hashem, Kakadash, the body of the apostle of this great millstone. Shalom to the Akim out the preaching the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I just want to do a few, speak on a few topics. Give my take on it, so to speak, in the in the spirit, Salakia. Because it's a lot of things that's going down, man. If for the ones that's of course watching, we know starting off with the brothers of Great Millstone. Scripture says to watch as well as pray, and the also the followers and the listeners, constantly being on our watch. You see that things are crashing all around us. It's starting to become an overwhelming amount of prophecy that's coming to pass. All right, from these different grocery stores to the gasoline fuel markets to the actual vehicle shortages from lack of microchips, the housing crash, the different housing market being dilapidated. You have what is the term? Inflation, stagflation. A stagnant society. With inflating prices. That's why your wages aren't compensating your daily living. And like I said, the mortgages and these different houses actually jumping up to the heavens, to the point that these certain regions are even classified as being unaffordable. I've seen a video also of CEOs quitting at a phenomenal rate. So from the top to the bottom, everybody is feeling this American squeeze. And it's not only America, this world squeeze. All right. Of these systems collapsing, because the scriptures speak about when Yahweh Shai actually comes in power, he's going to take the hands off of many heads, and he's going to wear many crowns. So he's going to take authority over all these provinces and kingdoms, man, because these different nations have ran their societies, and they have mingled a perverse spirit within these different societies. Putting witchcraft and demonism, manipulative tactics through these different governments to keep the people heavily oppressed. That's why it tells you in Proverbs the 29th chapter, and I'm gonna get it. When the wicked are authority, the people mourn. And that's why it says also in Isaiah the 14th chapter that when the righteous are in rulership, that the trees are going to actually even rejoice. Because even when you look at these different animals and nature itself, nature is dying at an aggressive rate. So there's no other choice but for the prophets to prophesy the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, and these prophecies coming to pass, because all these different things are having a ripple effect. All right. I didn't necessarily want to read on a few of these things. I could read a few, but I wanted to just actually, I didn't want to click any of the videos, but this is, of course, I know all, if not most brothers are familiar with Epic Economist, him as well as Dabu, as well as a few others. I go on Blacklisted News, the end of the AmericanDream.com, as well as few other article sites to, get the real skinny of things, man. And, you have these articles pertaining to the housing crash, pertaining to the supply chain is dying, standard of living is being systematically destroyed, if not mistaken, that's what it says. Supply chains, deindustrialization, speaks about the collapse. People are panic buying, the crash of these different systems, and that's why it tells you also that there shall be a cry heard from the fish gate, because if I'm not mistaken, that deals with the markets, man. These markets are totally feeling the blowback, of what's going on, Yep. This is Zephaniah 1:10. And shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Yeah, and the hills represents government. So these different governments are crashing, man. You know, that's why it says that in these times that they're going to curse their God and their king and look upward, because they're going to see, most people are seeing that government reliance is not available unto them. A lot of these different government benefits, it's starting not to hold its weight that it used to back in the 60s or the 70s, when they actually had food stamp programs and all these different programs to actually make it suitable to live within the American standard. See, the American standard has increased to the heavens, and people don't have the actual relief to actually support the lifestyle to even live and dwell in this place. That's why depression is at an all-time high. Because if you look at the actual system, you have to look at the people. All right, if the people were in such a high elated society, all right, and they were getting heavily satisfied from the treats and the trinkets and the goodies that America came with, why the hell all these people on 7 different types of drugs, man? You know, they on uppers and downers, ecstasy pills, Percocets, Xanax, and they rap about it in all the different music and things of that nature. But the point being, these people are depressed, man. You know, suppressed, oppressed to the point where they have to take all these different weirdo drugs for relief, and they're dying at a dramatic pace. That's why these different, like I said, these records, if you go into these different drugs and these different things, they're starting to, these are record-breaking numbers, man. You know, people don't even have the ability to actually even endure in these times. And that's why you have to have the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah walking with you in these times, because these times are going to be terrible, and it's going to get a lot more worse, man. This is just still the precursors, man. This is the buildup. We haven't even touched the climax, you know. So this is Ezekiel 7:6. And end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, is come. Yeah, and this is what we've been talking about. You know, when the Most High opened our eyes, you know, Scripture says, anoint thy eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. When the Most High gave us the ability to see, you know, us brothers that's hopefully of the elect, we hit the ground running. You know, constantly watching, prophesying the things that we've seen when these things weren't even really popping off aggressively to the point that it is now. See, we in the year of the turn up. Apostle Hart, he coined it as such, and we see things are turning the F up, man. It's crazy how things are just jumping out of the gym right now. You know, every day it's some type of new prophecy coming to pass, and that's why the scriptures speak about even too that the righteous are going to keep silent in that day, because when all things is said and done, with like the bishop here, the bishop of Tazwam, he always brings out when the test is distributed, the teachers is done teaching. You know, in so many words. So when the Lord puts this extreme test out, we ain't got to prophesy the end of America when America's at its end. You know, of course, we're going to still do a prophet's job, speaking of things, the kingdom of heaven, deliverance, salvation. But, you know, when things are said and done, that's going to solidify everything that we were saying, you know, which is going to be the biggest I told you show. And at the end of the day, we're going to have to perform in these aggressively bad times, you know, and we have the faith in Yahweh Shema Shah that the Most High is going to preserve us. So we have the spirit of perseverance, man. You know, we're resilient in these times because we speak of these things coming to pass before they come to pass, pursuant to Jeremiah 28:8. You individuals that try to avoid the elephant in the room, when the elephant smacks you in the face, you ain't got nobody to blame on. All right, and we're seeing that prophecy is smacking a lot of you people over the head to the point where you're shocked. You're actually getting shocked from the prophecy. A lot. It's a shock wave that's actually being distributed throughout these different regions because they're not used to these prophecies coming to pass like that, man. You know, they thought that it was just gonna go here, was gonna be born here to go to college, to meet their college sweetheart or their high school sweetheart, and you know, live this American lie, and just go and dwell in the realm of peace. You know, the scripture says that this is not our rest, and this place is gonna destroy us. You know, so we have to fight to get up out of this place. And I didn't want to make this too long. I just wanted to speak on a few articles, and I want to maybe, Lord willing, just continue on in another segment to add a few points on these certain prophecies that's coming to pass. You know, because we're here. You know, So, of course, the scripture says, watch as well as pray. May anybody giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Rashah, by Shema Kakodash. Double honor to the apostle and others, a great millstone. Shalom, Akim.